You know what I just saw out here in the woods? Mud. Oh yeah, there's mud. You know what that means, don't you? Yeah, that means it's spring. Brings me joy, joy to my heart. We're going to talk about joy and what happens to bring me joy. Yeah, it's spring. Hallelujah. Yeah, mud brings me joy. Saw a puddle too. So I saw a puddle in mud. That's just weird. Um, it's thawing out. No, we got a long ways to go. But it's been 3 weeks like we haven't had in years in Missouri, at least this part of the state. Now, you go very far north. North Missouri is a whole different world. I mean, they fish through the ice in North Missouri. I wouldn't get on the ice to save my soul even now. There's probably 4 or 5 inches of ice in our ponds. It's freaking crazy. It's been 3 weeks since we've had a good thaw, and it's thawing out now. So, and it's going to be better and better. My biggest downfall that don't bring me joy is I don't know when I'm going to get to go fishing. I got stuff to do next week. It's going to be in the 50s several days. And truthfully, the closest ramps to me are froze. I'm sure there's no doubt they're froze. Parts of the lakes are froze. That don't happen very often. Well, every year we get some ice somewhere. But it's that joy thing. So I've been so doom and gloom on the way people are and the way the world is, the way they treat their fish, and FFS and all this technology crap. It's time to remember what joy is and what brings us joy, and basically back to the bass fishing thing. Come on, y'all, we love to catch fish. So there's been several videos lately on YouTube. I talked about a guy down here, Chris Dickerber. Chris, an excellent fisherman. They did that video the other day. They're joyous when they're catching those fish. They're having a blast. They're kids, 30s, whatever, but they're having a great time. That's what it's all about. And it's so hard to remember that. The tournament fishing thing for me probably killed most of it because I'm just trying so hard to put 5 bass in a boat that'll measure. And meanwhile, I'm catching sometimes 60, 70 bass a day in these tournaments. So it's still fun. Yeah, when you're trying to win a tournament or trying to weigh in a limit, when you catch a 10, 12-inch bass sometimes every cast, it's disheartening. It shouldn't be. I know that. I know that so well. I know it so well that I got away from that kind of fishing sometimes in tournaments because I got tired of catching short bass, and that's ridiculous. That really is. The aspiring tournament angler, Chris Johnson, another one Randy talked about, he's got great videos. And it got me a couple weeks ago. Here's a grown man, has been there and done that for years. Not much younger than me, I don't think. And he catches it. Now, he's not filming the fishing, but he shows a catch of a 5-pound something bass, a nice one. And he is exuberant. He's excited. He's like a kid. It's hilarious fun to watch because he is just smiling, talking about the bite and the bait. He's doing an old school bucktail jig with a pork frog. He talked about how sometimes you just know. It is so refreshing to see that, and I like refreshing. I need refreshing. Most people do from time to time. Especially, I've been fishing for over 3 weeks now. I don't care what size bass I'd be catching. I'd just like to catch some bass. Y'all, Solar Bat Sunglasses is having a Valentine's Day sale. It's the only commercial you see on my channel up to this date. Excellent sunglasses, good prices. I mean, these are $30 sunglasses. I have my high-performance fishing glasses, too, that I wouldn't trade for much anything. They're just super glasses. Check that out. Store-wide, 30% off. Get your loved one some sunglasses. Throw a little love at them. What makes us want to fish to start with is the happiness it brings us. Sometimes it's just being out in nature, and most times it ought to be just being out in nature. If y'all fish very long, you see some crazy sunrises and sunsets. You've seen major cloud banks with weather coming in. You've seen beautiful days, you've seen horrible days, but in a degree it's still us being out there being free and being able to fish, and it brings joy and love to my heart. It just truthfully does, and I'm going to remember some of that this year. That being able to figure out the bites always been that's my top 4. And that's why I've struggled so much the last year and a half, almost 2 years now, not be able to figure it out the way I wanted to, because that was always my thing over the years, especially going to a lake I've never been to before and getting on something and figuring a pattern or 2 or 3 out. And those days are either gone or they're gone for me, and I've got to get over it. And the tournament fishing makes it hard to get over it. So the next tournament is this coming Tuesday. I don't know if we're going to have it. I'm not fishing anyway. I'm just not going to do it. The ramp's froze in. They may move it to another ramp. I ain't going to fish it. I'm done, at least for a while, until I figure out where I want to be in this world of bass fishing. But where I want to be is catching bass and talking about it and maybe showing y'all some stuff and maybe trying some new things, experimenting, playing with these baits that I make, things like that. And it is as simple as it gets. A jitterbug in a farm pond and a bass blowing up on it, that is joy. Sometimes that little tap on a plastic worm brings joy. Sometimes you set the hook, it really brings joy. I'm going to do some more night fishing this year. We fished that one time for a few hours back in September. I'm going to do some more of that because that's awesome. Just doing some things that bring happiness to me, which is more important than winning tournaments for sure. Although I'd like to win another tournament. You know, something nobody talks about that I see on the bass fishing YouTube channels. Again, I don't watch a bunch of them, y'all. But the ones I see, very few people are talking about youngsters, bringing the youngins up bass fishing, except for the fact that they're coming up the wrong way. Well, my opinion, the wrong way. Taking a kid bass fishing and watching him get blowed up on that jitterbug, you ain't never going to have much more fun than that. My daughter, in 2016, took her bass fishing. She caught bass up to almost 5 pounds on a buzzbait even. My first YouTube video ever, 2016, was her catching that 413, I think it was, on a buzzbait. Doing it all by herself. I mean, she wasn't no baby anymore, but still, she was thrilled with it. It was amazing. She caught 2 bass that size that evening. That's where it's at. I'm going to try to take a kid or 2 fishing this year. That would be awesome. Our new fisherman, not just a kid. Anybody you bring into the sport, introduced to the sport, is good for the sport. Hopefully you can bring them in and show them that you don't need technology. You can do it old school. When's the last time anybody here watching this video has waded a pond? Man, I used to get wet. Even after I started tournament fishing, it was nothing. I just dive right on in. I've been clay sucked deep, knee deep in mud. I've been in creeks. I fell off in holes. I caught a ton of bass up into my 20s wading, and I'm scared to get wet now. I need to go wade somewhere. I don't mean trout fishing with waders. I mean wading in a mucky pond and catching big old bass and jumping around you and getting you wet. My kayak's the closest thing. Boy, I love my kayak. I only fished out a handful of times. I need to take my kayak out more this year also. Maybe I'm making New Year's resolutions a little bit late. But I'm going to do some stuff that brings joy to me, especially when it comes to fishing. So I freaked a few people out that last video, including friends of mine, talking about something that happened here at the restaurant. Life-changing stuff. It could bring joy. What it is, I told people last February. I put on Facebook because that Facebook community and the folks that come into my restaurant and like what we do, I wanted them to hear it first that we're going to sell the place if possible. I'm 60, closer to 61. I want to do something different. I don't know what. I don't want to go to work at Walmart. And I can't afford to retire. It ain't even close. But I had some people looking at the thing. That was what it was. I had a meeting with them Sunday evening. They expressed interest. They come and ate and expressed interest. So we're in a very early stage of negotiations and all the crap you got to go through, appraisals and all the money I'm going to have to spend. But my plan was to do that this spring. It just may have been sped up. And they want it bad enough. I don't know. I've never sold anything for what it was worth hardly in my life. Man, we got a lot of blood, sweat, hours, and some tears in this joint. Almost 10 years we've been here. I plan on making the 10-year mark, the end of March. But I got to get that going too. That was my groundbreak, because that changes a lot of things in my life. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have another business. I can't afford a building to put it in. This making these baits, that was the other thing. My man cave in this restaurant, I've made baits there before. I was going to move all my stuff from the house back in here and make a really good utility room to build baits, and now I don't know if I want to get all that started. I got to wait a couple weeks to decide to see where we're at with this thing. If it falls through, and it probably will, I will go ahead and do that. I have to have a place to build baits, and I can't afford to build a shop for that. And my shop at home, I could almost build another one for what it would cost to outfit it and get it ready to be climate controlled enough to make good lures. So that's life changing, a lot of things happening. I'm not sure where we're at on that, but it's good. It brings joy to my heart if somebody expressed interest without me having to go to them. I have a couple others have talked about it too, but these folks are pretty serious. Good deal. It may be the biggest deal ever, but it's also a little bit scary, and I'm not scared easy. Redheaded women, that's all. I swear to gosh, my wife will back me up on that. The only thing that scares me is redheaded women, and she ain't one. That's it. Be happy. You can worry, but you can be happy. Praise the Lord. That's my stance on it anyway. You don't have to do that either. Just whatever makes you happy, makes your family happy. And don't give in, don't give up. My working out makes me happy. I hope it brings joy because it brings a lot of pain. My legs are swollen up right now. It's crazy what a person does themselves. Trying to be a better person. So I need to do some fishing stuff. Truthfully, I'd like to do a away trip, probably to Table Rock or Bull Shoals. That would be far enough south for a couple days. That kind of been on the agenda, and next week's going to be perfect for that. And I have some things I have to do, not to mention if I'm going to sell this place or start in on selling it, it's time to get started doing things to it or get paperwork involved, whatever. It's going to be some lawyers. Somebody's going to make money off the damn thing no matter what happens. I know that's going to be the way it's going to be. What are y'all doing? Facebook page, my fishing Facebook page. Several of y'all have been to it. DW Verts Fishing LLC. I'll put a link in the description. It'll be underneath the Solar Bat link, okay? I didn't say that a while ago, did I? Come to that thing. Show me what y'all are up to. Better conversations there. Now, I only visit generally once a day. I don't do technology. I go do my restaurant. I've got that one in my regular Facebook. I got like 6 of them because it's just nuts. And I don't like it. Come to that page. Show me your fish catches. Show me your bait. Show me whatever. Way more, communication going on there than it would be on YouTube. I got to go work. What brings you joy? What makes you guys happy? And what are you doing about it? And how's your fishing involved in that? So, God bless. I'm going to go work. We'll talk at you later. Take care.